This is Keith Townsend, and welcome to Virtualized Geek, episode number 34. The year of the unicorn? So, why are we talking about unicorns? The Geek Whisperers use this term quite a bit. Amy Lewis, John Troyer, and Matthew Bender host a podcast for people who engage in social media as part of their day-to-day business. And they've coined the term unicorn as a engineer who has skill beyond engineering. Or beyond IT and IT systems. So, in their case, they're talking about the Chris Walls of the world, the engineers who have the ability to not only implement technology, but talk, speak, and write about technology. Another version of the unicorn is kind of the management consultant, kind of my role, someone who understands technology and also has training and skill in areas of business. Mine in particular is IT project management. So it's difficult. I don't know how long you've been in IT, or if you're in IT at all, you're watching this video, but it's pretty difficult to find someone with deep technical skill and also has another kind of hidden or even well-developed skill beyond IT. So someone who can take a look at a balance sheet and understand the impact of a balance sheet against IT projects in an organization, or someone who has the ability to take a look at, in Chris Wall's situation, someone who has the ability to take a look at a bunch of different products, write about them, and talk about their effectiveness in a organization. That skill is it's pretty tough. It's tough to find. And the question, I put out on the last blog post on virtualizedgeek.com was about the future of the enterprise engineer and whether or not we need a lot less deeply skilled, highly technical people, specifically in end-user organizations. So when I use the term enterprise throughout this tech talk, I'm specifically talking about end-user organizations, not the VMwares of the world, not the Amazons or the Rackspaces, but specifically end-user organizations, typical companies, non-for-profits, government organizations, corporations that employ engineers to manage and to deploy and manage IT within a regular organization. So the question is whether or not enterprises need long-term, deeply skilled engineers in specific areas. So let's say storage, for example. You look at a typical mid-sized large corporation, they may have several pure SAN administrators. Their job is to know frames, they know capacity management, they know LUN configurations, they know all these. They know the difference between a VNX and a VMAX, whatever that may be. They're highly skilled and they know all about storage. They know the correct number of drives to be able to get 10,000 IOPS a minute or whatever the measurements are for SAN. So they're deeply skilled in SAN and storage technology. But if we think about where the market is going, we take a look at the big vendors, the big server vendors. Dell went private because they needed to take a step away from the pressures of the street. IBM just recently sold their x86 business to Lenovo. They kind of abandoned desktop computing hardware and now recently the back-end commodity servers. Barb Darrow over at GigaOM believes that the reason that they've done that is because of Amazon. I don't want to say it's Amazon specifically. I want to say it's because of cloud computing. Cloud computing is the consensus future of the enterprise computing. Once we work out this whole NSA, privacy, data, security issues, which will get worked out, there's the allure of computing on-demand computing for enterprises. It makes sense. Just like there was a big wave for outsourcing IT operations in general, outsourcing the data center and applications from a SaaS perspective kind of makes sense for a business to do. Businesses are not generally in the business of providing IT services, but using IT as a tool. And cloud service providers, whether it's infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service, whatever as a service, gives business owners and business managers the ability to step away from IT or focusing on IT and consume it as a utility versus a core part of the business. So if that's the long-term future of IT, how does that affect the typical enterprise engineer? So if I'm consuming my ERP, which today I need a storage administrator, I need network guys, I need virtualization guys, I need compute guys, I need Unix guys, I need all these engineers with deep experiences in all these different pillars to, you know what, I have an internet connection, I have my network infrastructure, and I have connectivity to the cloud, and IBM, who would love to do it with their software acquisition, Salesforce.com, AWS, or whoever is providing my data center, my storage, my networking, my core networking, my compute. They're doing all that for me, and even in some cases, the application itself. What is the role of internal IT? There's never going to be a time where internal IT isn't needed at all. Obviously, there's still a network. There's still end-user computing devices. There's still an infrastructure to support. But the skill mix of the engineers, or, you know what, let's not label them engineers. Let's use the Geek Whisperers term, the unicorns, their role changes. No longer do they need to be versed in LUN configurations or frames or multicast or how do I configure a Nexus 7000. In the future enterprise, that stuff will be managed by someone else. You may choose to take a career path where you go to a service provider and you are the CCIE that manages the Nexus 7000s for 2 or 3 different large organizations, or you're the virtualization SME that handles all the compute for several hundred organizations, or at scale, you're the subject matter expert at a service provider. But the question is, or my statement rather, is that the enterprise will no longer need that level of experience, at least from a technical perspective, for their daily IT needs. Now the the focus of the skill set is shifting from someone who knows a lot about one subject area to someone who knows a little bit about a bunch of different IT areas and knows a lot about managing a business or operations. So no longer is my theory that no longer can you be a geek that just puts his head down, studies for a VCDX, the VMware expert, highest level certification, and go into an end user organization expecting to receive top dollars. I think it's going to be a skill mismatch. You're going to have this deep level certification knowledge or technology knowledge for someone who needs a generalist that has a lot more business skill, who can manage projects, who can manage vendor relationships, manage virtual help desk. I had a great conversation with colleagues the other day talking about one of the dynamics of managed service providers such as HP Enterprise Services or Accenture's outsourced business. Business, the business or operations of an IT organization changes dramatically when you can no longer tailor your policies around internal IT, and you need to adjust them for working with a managed service provider. Managed service providers need to do things at scale, so they can't always customize their processes around your internal processes, no matter how well they've proven themselves at the end. So the end user organization needs unicorns that understand that can adjust to that environment, and can help guide a business through that transition. So, I have to be fair. To be fair, a lot of you guys, commented on the blog post. You got a lot of great comments, specifically around areas such as security. I have to not disagree with you that security is one of those areas that that's probably an exception. That good or just enough high level knowledge of security won't be enough for most enterprises. They'll still need deep security guys. So there'll be pockets in the industry, but I think overall the industry needs more unicorns, which, at that point when we get them, I guess they won't be unicorns anymore because there'll be so many of them, and less specialized skill sets. I would love to hear your comments on this topic. Visit us at virtualizedgeek.com. Look up the post. There's a lot of great comments from guys like Lenny and Rob Nelson. They've, they as usual, they challenged me on some of the outrageous things that I say on the blog. Talk to you guys in episode 35.